Alright, hello everybody. Just making a little stream announcement here. And I think we're good. Okay. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Let me know if the levels are off here. Tonight we're going to play a game of Wingspan. So let's get into it. Hope everybody's doing well on this lovely Wednesday, if that is also what it is for you wherever you're watching. For any Terra Mystica fans out there, it is going to be Terra Mysticon very soon. Next week? I think next week. Within the next 2 weeks. I'm not able to make it this year. I'm very hopeful that if it does happen again next year, I can make it to that. So we'll see. So while we're waiting for the game, how do I... No, I'm not confident I can navigate to a different window. Hey, Scoomy. Pretty long queue for Wingspan. Yeah, I think it's because my settings are too restrictive. I'm trying to play with slow time so that I don't have to rush. So let's just play with anybody from any league who's willing to play slow here. All right, great. How you doing tonight, Scoomy? Are you going Terra Mysticon? You're US based, right? Where's my zoom here? Is that the right amount of zoom? What am I doing? Okay, so what are we looking at here? Let me know how the, no, I'm not going. It is a good time if ever you're able to make it. So I initially see some good stuff, but let's see if we can actually have things be a little bit more visible this way. There we go. All right, so what I'm initially seeing in our hand is a couple of really useful birds and a Forster's Turn in the tray, which I love to see. Probably will be keeping Food Web Expert, I would imagine. Because Bird Feeder can be pretty hard to hit. So what do we got? We've got eggs in cavity nests, eggs in hollow nests, or they're ground nests. I call them hollow nests. They look like hollow bread. Birds in grassland, birds in wetland. So we got some eggs early and some birds late. So I think we can be kind of flexible here. Playing a solid game will get us some good points no matter what. So what's my sequence here? I'm definitely going to pick up the Forcer's Turn round 1. That star nest is huge, or turn 1. That star nest is huge for both of these goals. Bird Feeder's a pain. Pretty much always avoided Suskumi. Yeah. It just seems like it should be possible, and then you look and it says 5 to 7 birds. Hitting that low threshold alone is really hard. So, but we got the Hummingbird, which we can play wherever. We got the Sapsucker, which is great. So I think what we're going to do is just keep those two. And we'll hold on to the food we need to play the Turn and the Sapsucker. This looks really nice, actually. And then we'll grab Food Web Expert. I hope to get maybe like 8 points off of that. Like 4 points off of that over the course of the game. Maybe more if we can. But it's a nice synergy with the Sapsucker as well. So we're just going to do that and grab the turn. I haven't kind of thought through all of my round 1 sequencing here. In the meantime, let's look at this player's page. 314. This is a strong player we're playing against here. Oops. And I do apologize to this player because we were playing very slow. So the yellow throat comes up in the tray. They're going to grab that immediately. That would have been a great pull for us as well. But so it is. So I think we probably go with... I think having the hummingbird in our grasslands is pretty nice. Because it lets us lay eggs on these nests and get something for it. We don't need to do that yet. I think we're just going to play the turn in case the opportunity to do some more stuff. Drawing birds comes up that we want to take. Yeah, and they go yellow throat. No surprise there. Alright, and I think we are just going to play the sapsucker. I think it's like play the sapsucker, gain food, play the hummingbird, lay eggs probably. So our opponent here is either looking to... Laying eggs there tells me they're either looking to play a second wetland bird, or they want to draw into cards next. And they want to make sure they can draw an extra card. So I think I'm not too worried about the tempo here. I think I do want to play some eggs of my own so I'm ready to draw cards efficiently. Should something good pop up from the tray. But I think our opponent's probably just going to play another, area in the wetland. Okay, so they've got a good wetlands engine going. That Harrier hits around... No, it doesn't. Nope. So far they don't have any nest types they need for these goals. So... I guess we draw cards first, and then we'll draw some food to see what we get. I am looking at this warbler. I mean, it's cheap points. It's not an engine bird, but it could have a kind of reasonable place in our grasslands, maybe our forest. In any case, we are going to draw... Yeah, our opponent isn't hitting the round 1 goal yet. Draw one more from the deck, and then we're going to think seriously about that warbler. Alright, Egret's great. This is already coming together pretty nicely. I think this Bob White is no good. I think we do want this warbler. So we've got some good options. I mean, this warbler is not an engine bird. It doesn't do anything for us other than fill up a slot, which can sometimes be helpful. But it's 8 points for 2 food, and for us it's 10 points given our bonus card. The other question is, does this Oriole have any place in our lineup here? Our opponent draws a single food. What might they have with these? They might have like a fish crow or something. I think they might have like a fish crow. We'll see. So I think I'm going to be gaining food no matter what here, unless I really think the Oriole's important. But I don't think they're eyeing the Oriole. Part of what makes me think the Oriole could be so good is the star nest, the fact that it's worth 9 points, obviously, and the synergy with the types of food that I'm going to be getting for free off the hummingbird here. But I think for starters, we're just going to gain some worms. Okay, let me think about it. 3 actions left. If we were going to go for the Oriole, we would draw cards now, and then we'd get food, which would probably involve discarding a card to get 1 more food. That could be pretty beneficial. Otherwise, I think I draw food, drop the hummingbird. Lay eggs. I kind of wonder if the Oriole's a little too slow. If I draw the Oriole, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Owl. I didn't think through my eggs here. I will need more. No, I think we're good. Discard one. Draw from deck. Okay. We're gonna see how this treats us. Unfortunately, that heron is of interest. They're gonna love that. So our opponent's seeing a lot of cards here. We're playing a kind of weird slow game. I'm sort of wondering how many mistakes I've made here. I think we will be laying eggs to hit this round 1 goal. But we are going to gain food first. So I don't care about the owl, right, at this stage. I think I'm enthusiastic about getting this Oriole up. So I think we lay eggs, and then next round, with 3 turns, we can play Hummingbird, lay eggs, and get out the Oriole. Nope, we can't. I'm off on my food cost there. Chickadee. So our opponent's got good stuff going on, and they have the ability to tie us on this goal now. So I'm definitely questioning my decision to play the Oriole here. Pick that up. I think I got distracted when I know there would have been other stuff coming up later, so that's fine. So we're tight with our opponent. They start first this round. Nothing super inspiring in the tray for them. They do have some birds that can help them hit this end of round goal, and then the song sparrow, the Savannah sparrow here, is good for the round 3 goal as well. So we have to think about what we want to prioritize here. At this point, I might go Hummingbird in the forest. That would help with tempo immediately, but it kind of hurts our long-term aspirations. Alright, so they left the Savannah sparrow out there. That could be pretty nice for us, honestly. So we've got a couple priorities. We want to get the egret down so that we're not wasting eggs every time we draw food. We draw cards, rather. And then we do want to start getting our food engine up and running. So I think it's egret first. Very slow here. All right. My main decision here is where do I put the hummingbird? I'm going to be shelling out berries. So if I am committed to getting the Oriole out, I want to play the hummingbird probably in the forest here. Let's drop the egret. Definitely got my eye on the Savannah Sparrow. It's going to help for the round 3 goal, and it's going to help us get to this second forest slot a little bit quicker. And this bird feeder could be pretty favorable for us, depending... Nope. They take the berry. Right, what is our opponent doing with a berry there? We'll see what they have. So maybe it's time to give up on our Oriole Dreams, huh? Maybe we just go Warbler, and then Hummingbird. Try to get our doubles play here with the Sparrow. So we're going to draw cards. See what other options we get here. Another Hummingbird. Okay. We don't want the crane. So this is what we're working with here. I think the Hummingbird's pretty nice for us. I think that's very nice. So now I'm seeing a sequence where I might play... Yeah, our opponent has so many birds out already. This Yellowthroat was great for them. And we're going to be giving them a lot of free food, so we really don't mind that they're building out their forest too much. So I'm thinking if I play Hummingbird in the forest, I can then set up for a double play with Sparrow, Hummingbird, and then we can lay eggs to win this round goal. So let's do that. And now we've got a pretty strong forest. I mean, we're getting 4 food each time. I like our game, but our opponent's game looks pretty good too. And what are they doing? They're pulling the Meadowlark. I don't know if they're going to be able to really use the Meadowlark much before in time for this end of round goal. They currently have no ground nests in their ecosystem here. But we're going to gain some food. I think we're going to make the bird feeder a little bit more challenging for our opponent here. You might regret that. Because we might want a good bird feeder next time, but for now we have what we need for probably the end of the round, honestly. So we can play Sparrow into Warbler here, or I think Sparrow into Hummingbird is just better at this stage. We're definitely getting that Warbler down at some point. At this point, I think it's almost certainly in our grassland. And they're setting up some engine stuff in their grassland. So I really like the look of our opponent's game. I'm kind of scared to see what cards they have. Oh, you know the sad thing? We actually need to lay eggs in order to get these 2 birds down. So maybe it's Hummingbird, lay eggs, Sparrow, Warbler. That could compromise our end of round aspirations here. It would leave us with like 1 egg, I think. Let's try it. Do Hummingbird now. Lay some eggs. And then we'll do a double play into the Sparrow Warbler here. So I may actually turn a food into an egg here. another hummingbird. Wow, we got all the hummingbirds here. So at this point, their card draw is looking like a significant advantage because they've got better card draw than we do. So with all the food flying around, I don't love our chances here. I'm not sure what there's to be done about it at this point. I'm not sure. I think I just got to try to play as efficiently as I can. So we're hoping to pull a berry here, I think, if we want to get the Oriole down. It's a little late for the Oriole, isn't it? Maybe I need to give up on that dream. Yeah, I think the Oriole card draw was a pretty significant misplay. And I'm sort of trying my best to think of it as a sunk cost at this point. Our opponent doesn't have any nest types for this round, so that'll help us out. You know, with all this food going around, having an 9-point bird in our hand probably isn't the worst thing. So we are going to do the double play here. Oh, wow, yeah, the Mockingbird. Interesting. All right. So at this point, our priority for the rest of the game becomes building out our grassland and then building out our wetland. Playing as many high point birds as we can, because I don't think we're going to have a grassland engine that's good enough. It's really going to depend on what we draw. But nothing to do at this point except for do this double play, which does leave us with just the food we want to get the Oriole down. And we are going to have a pretty significant point lead going into next round. Yep. So that feels good, but our opponent's engine is just like so much better than ours, I think. They've got really nice card draw. I think it's too late for the quail. I think the Vireo is nice, but not necessary. I think the Vireo is probably decent for our opponent. Probably not. So I don't know if we actually need any of that. Star Nest could be good for bonus cards that come later. I think I might just be laying eggs that we can then... Nah, we gotta see what's coming next. We gotta start drawing. We're gonna play more cards at some point here. Probably a little bit late for the Chipping Sparrow, but we're just gonna have to see. Ruddy Duck. Definitely late for the Ruddy Duck. And... I think we want either a wetland bird or a grassland bird here, so I don't think the Vireo does much to advance our game plan. Just costs us 2 eggs. That's definitely not what we wanted to see. I'm not even sure which of these birds is worse. It feels way too late for the Ruddy Duck, but having some card draw could be a benefit, actually. And it helps us get to 5 birds for round 4, which I think we need. Let's consider the Lincoln Sparrow just to hit these goals. Lincoln Sparrow has the benefit of being able to go from our grasslands to our wetlands. They do go for the scaled quail and the vireo. Okay. I'm not as scared of my opponent's game here. They're making some questionable card draw decisions in my opinion. Yeah, Ruddy Duck round 3, not a huge fan. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so our opponent, and so we see the Wood Stork, which we love. How much time do we have? We've still got 10 turns left. So we're gonna, if we draw cards one more time, we play the Oriole. We have really good food generation. I think the Wood Ducks, the Wood Stork's worth it. So let's draw cards. This might be the last time we draw cards this game. Yeah, the Ruddy Duck, I mean, it felt really late, but I mean, I just didn't like anything I drew that much. All right. One more time here. Eagle. Now we got some expensive birds. But I think we do like to see that. And it's just, do we care about the Willet here? Is the Willet worth it? So, if we play Oriole, gain food, can we play Lincoln Sparrow, Golden Eagle? No, there's not enough time for any of that. We still have to lay eggs. I think big point birds are going to be more valuable than these end of round goals, maybe. Problem is I gotta discard a card now. So I was thinking that the Chipping Sparrow could have some value. Because we need eggs pretty bad and it's cheap. But realistically, I don't think we're playing both the Eagle and the Wood Stork, so I think the Eagle's too expensive. It really depends on how much food our opponent shells us out. But yeah, our opponent's taking some pretty bad cards. And their wetlands doesn't look any better than ours. This will not be how long I think for the whole game. Let's give up the Lincoln Sparrow and focus on just playing these birds for points. Now, I will say that green swallow would have been very nice for us. And immediately we have the option for some food here. So I think I'm going to take this for the Chipping Sparrow. And this for the Willet or Wood Stork. Now, I think we want to try to get down this Golden Eagle if we have the food for it. So if our opponent does keep giving us all this free food, I'm sort of wondering if playing the Oriole just wastes a turn, wastes tempo here. Either way, I've got to lay eggs now. Gonna need to lay eggs before I can play any more birds in the grasslands. I lay eggs, play Oriole, gain food, play Eagle. I guess that's probably it. And I think I can afford to turn one of these foods into... Yeah. Doesn't matter where we play these. More food the merrier. We got a bunch of high point birds here. So we're playing the Oriole, gaining food, playing the Eagle, hoping that hoping our opponent doesn't get to 5 birds in their grassland, but they might. Wow, look at that. They are really going to be shelling out a lot of food. So maybe we just play Chipping Sparrow and then Eagle, huh? That gives us a pretty good end of game engine. And although this is only worth 1 point, I'm not going to talk myself out of that. I think this Oriole's good for us. Gonna gain food, grab the Eagle. Oh, right. I knew what they had here. So they are going to beat us on this end of round goal. When they're playing 1 point birds, I don't know if it matters. Gain food. I do want one of these. And I do want 2 of these. Thank you very much. So at this point, Chipping Sparrow's out. So we are going to grab some more food that'll help us get down these other birds. And how much more food do we realistically need? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 food. 5. I think we don't need to do this. I think this helps our opponent more than it helps us. So we're focusing on heavy point birds rather than really fighting all out for this end of round goal here. And I think it's likely our opponent's going to play a bird in their grassland to cap their grassland here. We're just going to hope it's a low point bird here. We'll take one of these. So now the awkward thing is, I guess we would kind of want more bird cards. I don't know. Our end of game time is like a little bit awkward. I think we're going to just kind of end things here by laying eggs and getting 4, hopefully 5 points for a turn or 2. We'll see. Here in the forest. Okay, so we're tying them on this end around goal. I like the looks of what we have going on here. I think our opponent's not playing particularly tightly, I would say. Although they're really filling up their board. Getting a lot of good stuff. I mean, if only there were bonus points for filling the board. That is a house rule we play with at my house, but is not the case on BGA. What did they discard? They discarded Ecologist, so they probably have quite a bit of points on whatever they did just pick up. And they're drawing a bunch of low point birds still. Alright. Well, there's no doubt in my mind that we are... Ooh, and the Trumpeter Swan. That would have been nice for them. I'm glad they didn't get that. I think I'm not too worried here about drawing cards, right? We've got a good food engine, but ooh. Now this is what challenges that assumption. If I draw cards one more time, then I've only got 4 more turns. I've definitely got to lay eggs for one of those turns. I'm just thinking about it because of this Warbler. So my options are basically, do I draw cards now, and then lay eggs, gain food, play Warbler, play Wood Stork, right? Draw cards, lay eggs, gain food, play. Because I have almost enough food for both of them now anyways. I think our opponent's going to give us the food for that. So I think that Warbler's pretty nice. I mean, 8 points is kind of better than anything else I'm going to be able to do. It just feels a little crazy to be drawing cards in this situation, but I feel pretty confident I can get that down. I just need 1 food from somewhere other than my hummingbird, because I'm going to give myself hummingbird food. I feel good about this. It feels wrong. My instinct doesn't like it, but... Oh, and the puffin. The paradox of choice here, folks. I don't know. Sure is a lot of stuff I'd like to play now. Alright. And the hooded warble comes up. All of the big point birds here. That would have been nice for us, too. I was, okay. The biggest limiting factor here is how many action cubes we have left. So let's see what our opponent does in terms of giving us free food. They could give us up to 3 free food here. And if they do, we're going to be able to play a lot of these great birds here. Alright, what do we need? We want fish if we can get them. I'm going to grab this for the Warbler. This is amazing. This is so good. So we need to lay eggs here before we can really play much. I think we're going to be laying eggs no matter what, so... We have 2 eggs on hand. Yeah, we're going to be laying eggs no matter what, so let's do it. Gonna hunt for a little bird. We get it. And we're definitely going to take some food here. I think we're looking for a fish. No dice. We will take this. And now we've got 6 eggs, which is enough to play 3 birds here, if we want to. We're going to start with the Wood Stork. And we're going to play the Warbler. And if we think it's worth it, we can always play the Willet. We have tempo on our opponent to know whether it's going to be worth playing that last bird or not. We can calc it out. Although we don't know what their bonus cards are. So, first things first, let's play ourselves a Wood Stork. Our point total still looks really nice here. And we're hunting for another bonus card. Photographer hits. Visionary Leader is just about how many cards we have left in our hand. We're not going to be hitting that card. So next we play the Warbler. It's good for 6 points and it moves us towards this end of round goal here. And then we're going to see where we're at. It seems pretty unlikely that our opponent's going to give us, like, enough fish here. Yeah, they just lay eggs. That makes sense. So I think they're done. I think they're capping it at 4 birds. So Warbler for us. And then it might be worth it to play this Willet. Will it be worth it? Or will it not be worth it? Okay, so at this point, our opponent's done with their actions. And we have one action left. So we're up 5. And we've only got, well, we've got 5 points off of our bonus cards. Right? So the question is, do we play the Willet or do we just lay eggs? If we play the Willet, it's 2 points because it burns some eggs. But it puts them down to 4 points and us up to 7 points. So right now, that would be +2 minus 1, so that's just 3. 5 points. Yeah, so I think the Willet's 1 point better than laying eggs. So let's do it. Alright. So we're up 10 here. They'd have to have pretty good bonus cards to be beating us. 15 points off of 2 bonus cards, that seems pretty tough. So an even 90 for us. Let's see what they got. 7. 7. Ooh, how close is this then? Do we win by 1? Oh no. How many tucks did they get? We win by 1 point. Wow. Very close. And we hit Elite League. It's great. I have not played very many arena games this season. Love getting a friendly opponent. I do feel like I get more friendly opponents in Wingspan overall than other games. I'd be curious if other people feel that way anecdotally. It's just kind of a pleasant game. I don't know. Maybe it's all in my head, but I feel like I've had plenty of opponents that are willing to kind of chat and just are friendly and say nice things as opposed to grumpy things or just comment on the game state. So, all right, well, that'll just about do it for tonight. A near win, a little bit of misplay perhaps in the early game for us, and certainly a lot of thinking time. Very many thanks to my opponent for their patience here. So, and we're into Elite League, and we're up to, I think that's about as high as my elo's been. So we're looking to keep climbing here to hit 500 eventually. So let's see. Elite League 1598, what is that? We're like something 600? Yeah, I don't know how many more arena games I'm even going to get in this season, but nice to hit Elite League. One more thing that I wanted to share that I was quite proud of is, how do I find this? Recent activity. So I actually I played one turn-based tournament for Wingspan. I don't think we'll be doing a turn-based Wingspan anytime soon because it has a way of taking over my brain a little bit. But I managed to come in 9th place out of 443 participants, so I was pretty pleased with that. It's a single elimination tournament. It was a cool format. 9th place. There's a bunch of 9th place people. I don't know if it's based on seeding or performance. I'm gonna claim it's based on performance and say I came in 9th overall, not tied for 9th. But I don't actually know how it works. But in any case, if anyone is interested, these are really nice tournaments. What do they call them? Go Birds, something flight. So I think they're on to 8th flight or so right now. But it was a nice little single elimination, pretty generous amount of thinking time tournament, and a really strong field. So the person who ended up knocking me out of the tournament came in 2nd place overall. I ended up playing like a kind of full tuck strategy, building out my wetlands like all the way, in order to tuck as many cards as possible. I ended up with like 30 something, 40 tucks or something, but it was more of a fun strategy than a good strategy, so they beat me by a bit. But 9th place out of 443, not too shabby. All right, folks, I think that'll do it. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you're watching the video afterwards, I hope you enjoy. Take care, everybody.